Hi everyone, I am Sai Krishna, an experienced developer from India. I'll be the instructor for this project. In this project, we're going to create a fun recipe app using a tool called Firebase. Imagine this app as your personal cookbook on your phone or computer. Firebase is a useful tool that helps us save all our recipes in one place, lets user log in and see changes instantly. It's like building a house with Lego bricks. We put different parts together to create our app. By the end of this project, you will know how to create your own recipe app where you can store all your favorite recipes and share them with your friends. So let's dive in and start cooking up some code. So this is what we'll be building by the end of this project. This is the home page of the website, and you can see the list of recipes. If I want to go into a specific recipe, then you can just select it. You will see the details. If you want to edit some information, for example, I just want to give some name here, for example, dal tadka, and then update recipe, and you can see the name is updated. The same way you can update instructions as well. You can add something and you can just click on update recipe. It will instantly update the instructions. And if you want to create a new recipe, then you can click on add new recipe and then you can just give some details. For example, if I want to um, give some new recipe like biryani and ingredients, just keep it something. Then instructions, I can give some instructions. Then browse, you can select some image. For example, if I select this image and click on this submit recipe, then it will go to the home page and you will see the title, instructions, and the image of the recipe. If I refresh it, it will be there because all the data here is stored in Firebase data store. So sorry, not data store, it's Firestore. So you don't have to worry about the session data. So it's all stored inside Firebase. And we also have authentication in this project. If you want to sign in, then you can just click on sign in. If you're a new user, then you can click on this sign up button and you can give your credentials. Once you are signed up, then you can go to the sign in page and you can click on this sign in. So if you sign in, then you will be redirected to this dashboard page and you will see list of recipes here. So this is what we'll be building in this project. So let's get started. Open your terminal or file explorer and create a new folder for your project. In my case, I just created a folder called source code, and here I have to create a new Next.js project. So for creating a new Next.js project, we have this command called npx create next app. You can give it some name. For example, in my case, I'm giving recipe app as name. And I just want to keep it simple. So I'm not using TypeScript. If you want it, you can use it. And no, yes, no. So this will actually create a new Next.js project. And for this project, we will use Next.js for the front end and uh, Bootstrap for styling. So, okay, Next.js project is created. You can do ls and you have this recipe app folder. Change the directory and I want to open this project inside VS Code. So doing code dot and you have this project. So open package.json. So we need to install Bootstrap for this project. So you can just do npm I bootstrap and Bootstrap is installed. You can see that here. For using Bootstrap styling, you can actually do import bootstrap slash test slash min, sorry, test slash css slash bootstrap dot min dot css. save. And for testing this project, you can just use npm run dev command, and you can see it's started in localhost 3001. In your case, it might be 3000 because I'm actually running the showcase project as well, so it's using port 3001. So I'll open a new window and go to localhost 3001. Initially, for the first time, it will take some time, but from the subsequent requests, it will be a lot faster. So yeah, this is a new Next.js project, and Bootstrap styles are actually applied. I'll just, okay, this is already off. Okay. So we don't need this boilerplate, so let's remove it. I'm just removing this boilerplate, and I'm also removing this um, class name. So the styling, save, and I'll remove the entire CSS from global as well as the page .module.css. I don't need this, so I'll just remove this. Same thing here, and yeah, now you have a blank canvas. If I just do hello world, save, you will see that here. For ease of understanding, I'll keep the tabs side by side. Right, this is not going side. Okay, yeah. Save. So you have Bootstrap styling applied. You can check it actually. For example, if I just want a button last name and button primary, and I can call it button, save. Okay, so you can see the styling is actually applied. So Bootstrap is working. And instead of actually using it inside page, I will keep it inside layout component, because if you keep it inside page, every time you actually create a new page, you have to add this import statement. If I add it in layout component, which is present here, you don't have to do that. In every page, it will be automatically imported. So this is one change. Now let's go to Firebase page and just go to console. If you're a new user, please create an account. Once you create an account, just click on add project. So in my case, this project is actually the one which is used for showcase. So I will create a new project. I will give it some name like recipe app 2 and continue. Enable Google Analytics. No, I don't need it. So create project. This will take some time, and it will create a new Firebase project. And let's open docs as well. Firebase here, Firebase docs, and just go to the documentation page. Okay, your project is ready. So yeah, this is the project page. Just keep it full screen, and you can see this is the app name. Just click on this web. So because we are actually building a backend for web, so we will just select that web icon, and then you can give some name. So in my case, it will be recipe app, and you don't need hosting for this project. So we'll just register this app without hosting. And yeah, this will actually create an app, and you have to do this npm install Firebase in your front end. So just open some new window, ls, and just run the command. It will install Firebase. So Firebase is installed now. After this, just copy the configuration from here, and inside your file explorer, create a new file called firebase.js and paste it. So you can actually remove this entire comments. Yeah. And you can just click on continue to console. Okay, this is the console. So you have authentication feature and also Firestore for saving objects. Objects is nothing but storing some data in some tables. It's like that. Table is nothing but a collection in Firebase. So that is there. And also you have cloud messaging. You have notifications, real-time notifications, and also you have storage feature. You have lots of things in Firebase. For our use case, we need authentication, Firestore, and storage. So first, let's set up authentication. So just click on this authentication. So inside the sign-in method, you can click on this email or password, enable, and passwordless sign in. Oh, we don't need this. We just need this email slash password. Save. And okay, this method will be enabled now. So we can use the email password authentication feature from the front end. So let's start building the sign in and sign up page. So first, go to the project, keep it full screen. And here, let's go to page, just remove everything. And create a new folder inside app for components, and also create a new folder called sign up, and inside create a file called page.jsx. So this will be sign up page. Suppose this is React 7 components. You can just install the plugin, will create this boilerplate code. So this component name, I can give it like sign up and sign up. If I go to localhost 3000 slash sign up, enter, you will see the page. So that is the use of creating this folder, and inside that you have to create this page.jsx. That is how you have to do it in Next.js 13, the latest version. So that is one thing. And other than that, we have to create a new component called header component, because we need a header which should be there in all the pages. So we will create a new folder, this components folder, and inside that we will create header.jsx, and the same way rfc, and will be header, and the save. I will just import it. So the header should be there in all the pages, so I will put it directly inside layout page. So in body, just keep it inside a div, and format document, configure, put it here, and above that I will call this header component, save, and you will see a header over here. That is looking good. So let's go to Bootstrap and let's get a header component. So header or navbar, Bootstrap, it will be like navbar. So just go here and let's get a navbar. I will go with a simple navbar with icon and this button. Okay, I'll just copy this and I'll just put it inside this component, save, and the input field, just put, we don't need a search feature, so I'll just remove it. The form, we don't need it, and the search, it shouldn't be like a submit button. Instead, it should be like sign in, save, and just go back. Okay, you can see that, but I want some other color. So go to the color schemes, and here you can we need this dark color, so let's copy this part and let's replace it. Save. And okay, now you have this color scheme. This is looking good, and let's format it. Save. Okay, then we don't want it like a button. Instead, we want it like a link, which actually redirects the page to sign in page. So we'll just change it to link, and we will import this next the link from next slash link, and then we have to pass href, which will be uh, going to sign in, and we will create a new page, sign in, and we will create page dot tsx, not tsx, sorry, jsx, and be the same thing. Page sign in, then in, save. If I just click on sign in, it is going to sign in. So this is working. And the navbar should be a link, and it should go to the dashboard page whenever we click on it. And also it should be like some other name. So site header, we will just change this to recipe app, and or my recipes. So that is changed, and I want this to be Next.js link, and href, it should be slash because it has to go to dashboard page. So even if I'm sign in page and if I click on this, it goes to the dashboard page. So that is what we want, and it's working. And this is looking good, but the title of the whole document, it should be something else. It shouldn't be like create next app. It is not good. So go to layout, and let's just change it here inside this metadata. Just give it recipe app, save, and yeah, there you go. We have this. And also, I don't want this to take the whole page. Instead, I want this to be inside a container because it is taking too much space. So for changing that, I can just go to header, and inside this div, not here, it has to be here. Instead of container fluid, I'll just make it a container. Now this is fine. I don't want this to take whole space. That's the point. So this is looking good. And now let's work on the sign in page. Not sign in first. Let's work on the sign up, because we want the sign up feature first, then we will work on the sign in. So in sign up, first we need to create a new form which can actually take the input like the email and the password. So in in this bootstrap, I'll just go to form, and I'll just take this basic form. So copy it, and inside this div, I'll just paste it, save, and format it. This input should be a self-closing tag which ends with a slash, and I don't want this checkbox. Save, and then just go back. I'll just go to sign in, and we'll go to sign up. Sign up. Yeah, we have the form, but it is not looking good. I want the form to be in the center, and also I want the title. So let's add it. Format document, and here let's give some classes. Like I want this to be like a flexbox line items center, and justify content center style. Just give the height to be 80 ph, which takes 80 units of the 80 percentage of the entire height. So now the form is actually looking good. So I want a title, just to let the user know that this is a sign up page. So I'll just keep it like sign up, save, and but I want this to be like I want the font size to be bigger, so FS3, and I will give some margin as well, and the text should be centered. Save. This is looking a lot better, and we can give email and password now, but nothing happens because we don't have any Firebase functionality attached here. So let's do that. So on submit, so whenever user submits this form, I want to run this handle submit function, which is not there yet. So let's work on it. I'll just create this new function, const handle submit, and so why the sign up page isn't loading? Console, I think there is some error. On submit, if you need interactivity, okay, make it a client component. So this is Next.js 13. So we are having some interactivity because we are using some event listeners. So we have to make this a client component. So we have to mention this. Now there won't be any error. Okay, event handler cannot be passed to client component props. So on submit is equal to is handle sign up, handle submit, and it is actually taking this event. This is actually looking fine. Refresh. Yeah, now we have this page. Okay, we have to change the class to class names, and also invalid DOM property for, do you mean HTML for? Okay, so first thing we will just see wherever there is class is equal to, we will change it to class name instead. Save. Rebuilding. And we have this error, app index.js 32. It is coming from label. Okay, so inside this label we have to use HTML4. HTML4. Save and refresh. I think we shouldn't see any error now. Okay, still there is some error related to this class name, because I think there is this problem in this, okay, this class. So we have to change it. It is not a good way to do things. We have to change this to class name. So refresh. Yeah, now there is no error. So when I actually click on this submit button, Actually, okay, this is not a valid email address, mail.com, and so you can see the page is actually refreshing, and I want to avoid that particular action. So that is why actually I'm calling this e dot prevent default. This will actually stop that. So if I add some email and password, now you can see the page is not refreshing. Still the form is getting submitted. So that is what we are doing here. Then we will get the email password equal to event dot target dot e dot target dot elements save, which will get the email and password based on the name. Okay, name is not given, so let's give some name, email, and here we will give some name, password, save. Or I'll just show you in the documentation so you'll get some idea. For example, if I go to this build and authentication, inside authentication you will see this web. Just go to the web, sign in with password, and if I go here you will see this is how you can do the uh, authentication inside Firebase. So let's do it in the same way. First we'll just import these things, and then we have to call this auth is equal to get auth, and then we have to call this function, and you have to pass this auth and also email and password. So just copy it, and we'll just call it here, save. So if user is signed in, then it will get the user details, and we will console log the user details, user, and we will show window alert that successfully created user, save. And if there is some error, then we will alert the user with error message, save. Now if I go here and okay, there is some problem. You have to call the initialize app. Okay, the problem is instead of calling this dot get dot here, what I will actually do is I'll just go to this firebase.js, and here I will call that line. I'll just take this line and I'll just put it here, and I'll import it. I'll export it. Export const auth equal to get auth, and inside this sign up page, I will import the auth variable, auth from Firebase. Save. Now I can use the auth directly. Now if I go to the page and refresh, okay, export const get auth. Okay, get auth is not defined, so we have to import this get auth, okay, from here. So same line, I'll just copy, and I'll just remove this get auth from here, and I'll put it here. Just remove this thing from here, and yeah, now there is no issue. And I think the user is actually created. So if I just go to the console, okay, user is not created. So let's create a new user. For example, I will just create a user with hi@gmail.com, and I'll give password sai123, submit. So there is some error. So we are getting this email and password, but we just copy paste it directly from the Firebase. But as we are getting the value from the e.target.elements, we have to call dot value method as well. Then only it will get the email and password. So, we got the details. Now if I go back and refresh, save, I think a user is not created. So let's create a new user, sign up, and okay, email is already in use because I actually clicked this button 2 times accidentally, so that is why we got 2 pop-ups. But if I go and refresh here, you can see a user is actually created. If you try to create a new user again with the same credentials, then yeah, this error pops up. So our sign up is working fine. So let's build the sign in page. Before that, I just want to add a link over here to make the user redirect to the sign in page. For example, if user has signed up, then you can click on the button to go into the sign in page. So let's add here down after the button. We'll just add a div, and I'll just give some margin my3, and just add a link href, sign in, and existing user sign in, save, and okay, link is not defined. Let's import it, save, then let's go back. Now you can go to the sign in page from here, and sign in page will look similar to the sign up page, but the difference is you have to authenticate the user and you have to redirect the user to dashboard page. So for sign in page, let's copy the entire sign up page logic and let's put it in the sign in page. But let's change the functionality. For example, it should be sign in, and then email address, password looking fine, and then it should be sign up over here, and then user sign up, save, and then okay, this is fine, and change the component name, and instead of create user with email and password, we want another function called sign in with email and password, save, and we'll just use the function over here, sign in with email and password, auth email.value and password.value. We will just do the same thing, and then we will get the user credential. If user is signed in, then we will log the user, and then we will redirect the user to dashboard page. So for that, we will just use not this router. Instead, we will just use router, use router from next/navigation, and we will create a new object, const router is equal to use router, and save, and we'll just put this page. Okay, it will user will be redirected to the dashboard page, and if there is some error, then the message will be logged in. And okay, this is the sign page. So let's try with the details which we just created. I123, submit, And there you go. Now user is redirected to the dashboard page after signing in. So let's work on the dashboard page. So we have the authentication feature sorted. So we have sign in and sign up. So let's work on the main dashboard page, which will actually uh, take which will actually list out the list of recipes over here. So for that, first we need to create a new Firestore collection. So let's go to build, and then here let's go to this Firestore database, then create database, and I'll start it in test mode. Next, just keep it the default location. Okay, a database. So Firestore database is created. Let's start a new collection. So for the collection ID, I'll just use recipes, and next, and the document ID, I'll just use auto ID. And for the field names, I want specific field names on the title and ingredients, and then instructions, and then image URL, then user ID, save. And you can give some values. So a new document is created. So document is nothing but a record, and in this case it is actually null, but let's give some values, or you can just keep it like this. So let's work on the uploading part. So this is the home page, and so let's work on the page. So go to page.js, and here I'll just create a new div and just put it like recipes list as title, and I will just if you remember in the showcase, we have the recipes list title over here, and a blue button over here, which is for creating new recipe, and they are on the same div. So for that, I will just add a link element over here, and then href, and it will be recipes slash create and new recipe, and let's give some class name button prime, save. And okay, but I want them to be on the same div, so class name flex t flex, and justify content between. Okay, and I want this to be inside a container, save. Okay, and let's give some margin because this is not looking great. So class name my3, good. And actually, instead of putting container here, I'll just put it here because I want this to be applied for the whole main block. This will look same. And let's create a new div, class name div flex, because I want to show the list of items, and I want the items to be wrapped. For example, I want to show each item as a card, and if there are a lot of cards, then I want the items to be wrapped. So that is why I'm using this. and we will use a map function, and then we will render this recipe card, which is not there yet. We have to create it. So recipe for recipes, we will just create this recipes folder, and then we'll create so for recipes, okay, recipes, we'll create another folder called create, and we'll create a new file called page.jsx. Let's see. Then create recipe, save, create recipe, which will take care of this button. But recipe card is not defined, so let's define that inside components. I will just create this recipe card.jsx, and this will create, and you can just import it site page. Let's import it, and okay, there you have the card. For example, if you have another recipe card, then they will be stacked horizontally. If there are many cards, then they will be wrapped down. So that is the purpose of this flex wrap. So let's remove this, and let's try to get the list of all the objects present inside this collection. So for doing that, here I will create a new state variable called recipes list, and set recipes list use state. Initially, I will keep it empty, and then I will call this use effect. I want this function to run when the page is actually loaded. So that is why I am using use effect. Inside that, I'll create a new function for getting the recipes list. So it will be an asynchronous function. And so for getting this recipes list, you can go to the Firebase documentation inside this Cloud Firestore. In the read data section, you can find this documentation. You can just go to multiple documents from collection, and you can see that there is the entire document. This is the entire documentation for reading data. So you can just go and you can check it out. So first we have to import some necessary things. We need this collection, and we need get docs from Firebase. As it is from Firestore, we will just import it from Firestore. Save, and then we will get the collection reference first. So recipes collection is equal to collection of db. So we have to pass the db as a reference, and then we will pass the name of the collection. It will be recipes. So for getting db, we will just go to Firebase, and here export const db is equal to, so import db from Firebase slash Firestore. Use this get this method. Okay, get Firestore from Firebase slash Firestore, and then you can call this method, and you can pass the app, and you can call that variable over here. Import db from Firebase slash, okay, this is enough. Yeah, save. And then we have to get the snapshot of recipes. So for getting snapshot is nothing but we will get a copy of the data. So get docs, we'll call this get docs function, and we will pass the recipes collection. This will get the data. And for printing all the recipes data inside this console, like here, we will just use a map function, const recipes snapshot docs dot map, and we will take each doc, and then we will get the doc data first, and then we will get the ID, and we will put doc.id, and just set the recipes list with recipes. Save. So there is some issue over here. This is the issue. Save. If I go back to this page, okay, use state. Okay, we have to make this a client component. So let's make it client, use client. This is looking good. Let's do a console log here. Console dot log recipes list, and save. And if I go to the browser, you should actually see the collection, and you can see, you remember in Firebase we have one object with a title fake recipe, and that's coming up here. So this is working. So the next step is to actually pass like take the recipes and get like render the cards based on the recipes list. So what we'll do is we will just write a map function over here. So recipes list dot map, we'll take item, and for each item we will return recipe card, and we will only return it if there is some image URL. In this case there is no image URL, it's empty. So we'll make sure if there is image for that particular document, then only we will render the recipe card. So image URL, then recipe card, and we otherwise we will just return null. We won't return anything. And for recipe card we will actually pass the values. So we will pass props as we'll pass item as props. So this recipe card, for accessing those props, we have to like put props here, and we can access them. So let's work on the create recipe page. So this recipes page is here in recipes / create. Go to the page. You don't need this. And first we need to create some state variables because we'll have some form elements, one for storing title, ingredients, instructions, and for file. So let's create state variables using React use state hook. So first I will define the variables title set title is equal to use state initially, let's keep it empty, and const ingredients set ingredients to use state instructions. Use state, and let's get the file URL, or set file, sorry, set file is equal to use state, and we will keep it null. That's it. So let's work on the form part. So for the form, as we discussed, we need all these input elements for storing all this data. So let's create a form. Inside this div, I'll create a form, and action is equal to, you can just remove it. We don't need this. Inside this form, we need a div, and I mean, we need 4 divs for 4 elements. So div into 4, and for each div, we need to write input element input, and type is equal to text, because we first one, it will be the title, for the title. So this is looking fine. Let's give margin for each of the div. So class name mb3, and then input value is equal to title. Initially we will keep the value based on this, and then we will update the value on change. We will take the event listener, and then we will set the title e dot target dot value, save. And for placeholder, I'll just format the document. Then for placeholder, I'll just keep it title, and class name, as it is a bootstrap class. Okay, we have to define this like a client component. So use client, save, and yeah, the styling is not good, so let's give some bootstrap styling. Class name, form, control, save, and yeah, you have the styling, but it's not looking good. Let's work on the main styling. So I'll go to the div class name. We'll do the same thing we did for the sign up page. Align center in items center, and justify content between, and not between, it should be center. Save. Yeah, now it is centered, but the padding isn't looking right, and also it's not centered vertically. So we have to give some width for this container. Height, just make it 80 VH. Save. And yeah, you have the styling now. But you need some title for this form, then you can add it. Class name mb3, and text center, create recipe. It is looking a lot better. And I'll just make this required field, so that there will be some validation from the front end whenever you're submitting. So yeah, let's work on the other elements. It will be in the same way, but it will be the elements will be different. For ingredients and instructions, we need text area element instead of this generic text. So let's copy this, and let's put it here. form control, and let's make it text area, and it is not a self-closing element, so yeah, let's put a closing tag, and then for type it will be a text area. We don't have to define this, so we can ignore it. And then value will be ingredients, then on change set ingredients, and then title ingredients, save. Required, good, yes. And if you want more vertical spacing for this element, then you can actually add rows. For example, here I want this to be occupying more space, like rows is equal to 5. Refresh. Yeah, now it is taking up more space. So that is looking good. And format it. In the same way, let's define element for instructions. So it will be instructions, then set instructions, then it will be instructions, save, and row is equal to 5, looking good. Then we have to work on the file component. So this one should be an input field, and for the type we will give it file, and class name form control, and on change we will change the handle image upload. I'll tell you like why we are actually doing this, and I'll make this field required field, save. First I'll just remove this and I'll show you how it actually looks. Okay, we have this element, and then we need a submit button. So down this div, let's create a button, and let's make it button success, then submit. Okay. Now we have all the buttons required. So let's work on the handle file submit, handle image upload. So whenever you upload an image, it has to be processed. So for that we will add an event handler here. So on change, the same way how we are writing function, we will do the same thing, handle image upload, and save. And we will write a new function here. So here we will create handle image upload function, and it will take the event, and we will get the file using e.target.files of 0, and we will actually set the file. Okay, so we will set the file, and this will actually handle the this function. We will and this will set the file variable based on the image which you upload. And then let's work on the handle submit function. So when a user submits form, we have to create a collection inside Firebase, and also we have to upload an image in the Fire storage. So go to the Fire storage. So in using this Fire store, we can't actually store images. For storing files, it's better to store them here inside Fire storage. So let's start it in test mode, and done. Once you start this, just go to firebase.js, and here export const storage is equal to get storage, And for get storage, we can actually import it. Import get storage from Firebase slash auth, save, and get file storage app. Okay, now you can go to the page. Okay, here you can import it. So import storage from Firebase, save. And after that, you can use this storage object for actually getting reference of this storage. So first, let's write the handle submit function. So handle submit, which will here in form I'll put on submit, handle submit, save, and it will take an event. And by default, when you submit the form, I want the default action to be prevented. So prevent default action. And you can first we need to get the storage reference. So storage reference is equal to reference, which can be imported from this storage import reference from Firebase slash storage. And we will call this reference and we will pass the storage which we just imported, and then we will get the file dot name, which will get the name of the file which was uploaded, and then after that we will get the task. So for this I'll actually use the example which is given in the Firebase. I go to Firebase documentation, so I will just go to the end, full example, and then here I will just get this entire code. Okay, now we got the code. You can just put it here and format it. Then we need to actually import this function. So upload bytes resumable, which can be which can be imported from here. Then we don't need metadata, so I'll just remove it. And then upload task on state change. So whenever there is some state change during upload, it will take the snapshot and it will actually run this function. So once upload is done, it will run this function, callback function. So here you can actually write your custom logic, like whatever you want to perform after the file upload. So if file is actually uploaded, then I want to get the collection. I'll do that later. First, I'll show you like how the file, whether the file upload is actually working or not. So get storage is not a function. So let's go back. I think there is some issue here. Get storage. It's not from auth, from storage. Save. And yeah. So I'll open the inspect tab. I'll give some values. And I'll just browse some photo. Submit. You can see upload is 0%, 100%. Upload is running, but get download URL is not defined. So there is we have to import this method. So get download URL, we can get it from this same import statement. and but the file should be uploaded. That means this ran successfully and it's going here. So if you check the Firebase console, okay, it's not uploaded. So I mean, it's not refreshed. Let's see whether it's uploaded or not. Okay, as you can see, it's uploaded. If you click on it, you can check the details. So this is good. But we need to actually after uploading the file inside Firebase, we actually need to update Firestore as well, because here we need to create a new object. We have to like, it is just uploading an image, but we should actually create a new document, uh, mm, like for this collection. Like we should have image URL, whatever that's uploaded in the storage, we will put the URL, and then we will take the instructions, ingredients, title, and we'll put that in the document. So we have to do that. So I will just do everything inside this function, like get download URL, because this runs after once the download is upload is successful. So first step, I have to get the recipes collection. It's in the same way like how we got the list in the main page. So first we'll get the recipes collection. We'll call the collection, then we'll pass the db, and db we can import it, and then recipes and const recipes snapshot. We will wait, and then we will get docs, and recipes collection. I think this okay, this method is actually an asynchronous function, so let's make it async. And let's see whether get docs is actually there. Yeah, it's there. So that is good. Now let's call this add doc function. This is for adding document inside Firestore. So we'll pass the recipes collection reference, and then we will pass the data. So the data will have title, ingredients, and we'll have instructions, and we'll have image URL and user ID. Title, we have title, and ingredients same. Instructions, download URL, and then auth dot current user dot UID. So this is how you can get the current user ID. So that is there. And is auth actually, yeah, it's imported automatically. Good. And then after setting the data, I want to clear all the values. So once the form is submitted and once the collection is submitted, I want the data to be removed over here, and so that user can actually add some fresh data. So what I'll do is I'll just set title, and I'll make it empty. Set ingredients empty. Set instructions empty, and set file, and we will make it null. Save, and let's test it. So I'll just put some random data, ingredients, instructions, browse, and here I'll just make untitled, and then submit. Upload is running, file available, and then okay, auth dot current user is null. So I think the object is not created because we have to log in first. So we'll just write a statement over here. So auth dot current user. So we'll add some try catch. We can add some try catch here. Suppose if there is some exception, then We will alert the user try, and then catch, or we can just call the catch directly. Alert, or we'll get the exception. Catch alert, something went wrong, and we will just show the exception. We just go back and we try to create a new object, then select the object, and then we can submit. It should actually throw, yeah, now you're getting some alert, something went wrong. It is good. So let's see why the error is actually coming. So the auth.current user is null because we have to sign in. So first I'll sign in. Error user not found. I'll just change this to sign and I want 3. Submit. Yeah. Now you have, now user is actually signed in. And now let's try to add some things and then browse, submit. Now you're not getting any error. The file is uploaded and you didn't get any error. Now you can check it and you can see a new document is created with all the information. So ingredients, instructions, we have everything. And if we go to the home page, we will see the same thing. Okay, we are not rendering it properly, so we have to work on the recipe card. After that we'll see, but you will actually see the data if you do the console log. So okay, we have 3 recipe cards. Let's work on the recipe card feature and let's work on this. So we'll go to docs and get the card, and we'll just copy this and I'll just put it here. And image, I'll just replace this with next image. And for next image we have to actually specify the width and height, so I'll just keep it 250. Then height, I'll just keep it 250. Save, and it should be a self-closing. You need a slash for React applications for image type. And then for source I will just put props dot get props dot image URL. Save. And for class I will just change this to class name. Save and format. Okay, I'll just go back and we'll see how the card is actually now. Okay, I can't see anything. What's the issue? Let's go back and let's see. Okay, recipe card expecting JSX close tag for image. Okay, there is some issue. So okay, the problem is this domain should be added inside next config because we are using this image tag. So I'll just go to next.config.js and here I will add it under images. I think domains. Yeah, domains. I'll just make a list and I'll put this here. Save, and one error is gone. Let's refresh. There's still more errors. Okay, this error is gone. Okay, there's some other error. Style. Okay, here I'll just make this like save. This should take care of that. Okay, now you're getting the cards. I will give some margin because this is not looking good. So class name, margin end, I'll give 3. Margin top, I'll give 3. Save. Okay, now we have some margin, and yeah, as of now, this is a normal card, but I want this to be like a link. So whenever you click on this card, it will go to a page where you can find specific item details, and also you can update the item. So for that reason, I will just wrap all this thing inside a link. So next slash link, and I'll just copy the entire code. Format. Okay. And for href, I'll just put it like slash recipe slash props dot id. Okay, so whenever I click on this page, it goes to slash recipe slash id. So the page is not yet defined, so we should work on it. And also, I don't want this text decoration like this underscore, like the blue lines under the text. So for removing it, I will just here let's add styling, so text decoration none, save, and it will remove the blue underscore underline. And then I don't want this button, so I'll just remove it. So here I just removed it, and this is better. And I want the title should be actual title of the recipe, and here I want instructions. So here I'll just remove this title, and I'll just call props dot title, and here I will just get the props dot instructions, and I want to limit the like the height of this element. So height, just use another bracket. I want to use some CSS styling, 150 pixels. And yeah, it is looking good. And if there is some extra text, like if there is a lot of text in this instructions, then what happens is the text comes down. Like one card will be of more height and another card will be of less height, or you can't actually see the complete text information. So for getting rid of those issues, I will just put overflow y auto, which will actually create a scroll bar. Whenever there is a lot of text, it will create a scroll bar so that you can scroll and see the whole information, and it doesn't increase the size of the card. So that is good, and we can actually work on the page, like this recipe page. So first I will create a new page. So here it will be a dynamic page. So slash id, it is recipes, right? Okay. And then create page dot jsx, and then rfc recipe details, save, and details, save. And if I go here, okay, it's not getting updated. I have to make it like recipes. Yeah, creating this page. uh, let's work on the html part. So I will so I want that to be the same way like the create recipe page. I want a form, and the form should be pre-populated with whatever values that's there inside Firestore, and user should be able to update the details from the same page. So for that reason, what I'll do is I'll just go to the create component. I'll just copy the entire HTML, or you can actually copy the entire page. I'll just copy the entire page and I'll put it here. I'll just uh, change this recipe details, and so we don't want we don't want this image upload, because I want the user to be able to change only instructions, title, and ingredients. I don't want a user to be able to change the file. So I'll only give the user these three options, and then let's update recipe, or we can keep it like view/update recipe. Then the values should be pre-populated with the values present in the Firestore. So initially, yeah, it's null, but we have to call a use effect hook. Then here I will create a new function called get recipe details, and we will get the recipe first. Await get doc. Then we will call the doc. We will pass the DB first, recipes, and we will pass the ID params dot ID, and params actually comes from here. Params, and await, as is a asynchronous function, we'll put async over here. And okay, we got the recipe. Now we have to get some data. The recipe dot data, and set title, data dot title, set ingredients, data dot ingredients, set instructions, data dot instructions, save. And you can also get the image URL as well. That image URL, but we don't have that variable and we don't need it, so I'll just ignore it for now. And for the handle image upload, we can just remove it because there is no input element for handling image upload. And handle submit now doesn't take care, doesn't do image upload. Instead, it actually updates the values in the Fire store. So you don't need this function. So I'll just remove this entire, and also upload task. We don't need this upload task. Just get rid of this whole code. This one as well. Yeah. We don't need storage reference. Okay. So first, okay, after this, creating this function, we have to call it. So get recipe details. This will actually pre-populate these fields with the actual data present in the Fire store. So let's refresh and let's see. It's pre-populated, as you can see. If I go and select some other data, then it will be changed. This one, I'll go to the dashboard and you'll get the list over here. Okay, there is some issue. I configured it, right? Just go back. Next, config. Okay, we configured it, but we have to restart the server. That's why it's not getting reflected. So refresh. Now, if I go to this particular item, you can see the details are updated. So we are getting the details. Now let's work on the update functionality. So this handle submit will take care of the update. So first we will get the recipe object. So we'll just copy this and we'll put it here. And I don't want to get the document details. Instead, I want this document reference, just the document reference. So I'll just remove that await thing. And after that, I will call this update doc function from Firestore, and I will pass the reference recipe, and I'll pass the details. So as it is an asynchronous function, let's put it in async block, and then here we can just give title, and I need ingredients, and I need instructions. So copy this thing. If I do some change now, for example, recipe and submit, that should be updated over here. Not this one. And you can see the title is actually updated. So this is working. You can change the details of instructions or ingredients, and it will be reflected. And after the update, I want the user to be redirected to the dashboard page. So router slash use router. Okay, good. I make this like instructions submit. And okay, router is not a function. Oh, sorry, router dot push. And okay, now you can see the details are updated and user is redirected. So that is it. We have completed all the functionalities. So we have a dashboard page where you can see the list of recipes. This will be title, and here we'll have instructions, and we can create a new recipe using this page. You can add some details, and when you click on submit, you will get a new recipe over here. And if you go to a specific recipe, you can view the details, and if you're interested in updating, then you can update it, and you can click on submit. It will update the recipe details, and you will be redirected to the dashboard page. And also you have a login and sign up functionality. So you can click on sign in, and if you are a new user, then you can sign up first, and then you can go back and sign in. After that, you can create your own recipes.